We'll continue with the meaning of audit and audit-related services in Unit 2. Okay, so this section will cover audits, the meaning of audit and audit-related services. So we'll look at audit first, and we'll look at audit-related service second. Okay, so for audit services, the International Standards on Auditing 200, number 200 states that the purpose of an audit is to a form of assurance engagement. An audit is an assurance engagement. The purpose is to enhance the degree of confidence of the intended users of the financial statement. So the confidence, the comfort that nothing has gone wrong materially is the essence, is the purpose of an audit. So an independent review has been carried out by a professional that understands the criteria and the subject matter. So the International Standards on Auditing number 200 states that the purpose is to provide confidence or comfort or assurance that the financial statements are not materially wrong. Okay, so this is achieved by the auditor expressing an opinion on whether the financial statements of an entity are prepared in all material respects. So in accordance with an applicable financial reporting framework like the IFRS or the GAAP, which is used to prepare these financial statements, the framework used or provided, for example, based on the country specific, like I spoke about the IFRS in the UK, while the US uses the general GAAP. Whichever country like Nigeria gravitates towards the UK IFRS, and other countries around America or the US like Canada and other North American countries use the GAAP as suits their needs. So these frameworks are country specific, and the audit is supposed to be in line with these frameworks. So the audit opinion typically makes reference to whether the financial statement gives a true and fair view or is fairly represented. The financial represented or fairly presents the financial position, performance, and results of the reporting entity. So the true and fair view is very important in terms of materiality and ensuring that there are no issues that are not brought to light before these shareholders. So audits are have been long established even before the current professional or professionalization of the audit processes. So the processes closely regulated by law and professional practice have been developed because of the principal and agent relationship that has transpired right before time, or right before industrialization, the coming of technology and the fast growing of technology in the business space. Audit has always been, and the relationship between the owners of the company, the directors who are the stewards, are the reason for audit. So in order to protect the shareholders from incorrect or misleading information by directors, an audit is designed to provide a high level of assurance to the users of the financial statement. So assurance is provided because the owners of the company are not the ones running the company. So whoever is running the company should also be put under check to ensure that the right things are done. So audits are very important. So before we move to the next section, which is audit-related service, the purpose or the importance of audits cannot be overemphasized as outlined in ISA 200. If we look at an example of an audit crash or an audit issue, in 2014 precisely, African Bank, we can use that as an example. African Bank in South Africa were being audited by Deloitte, and Deloitte faced scrutiny following the financial collapse of African Bank. So I'm bringing this example for it to resonate with you on the importance of audits and the purpose of audits based on our discussion. African Bank's directors provided shareholders with financial statements that failed to accurately reflect the bank's deteriorating financial position. Deloitte, as the external auditor, was criticized for not identifying and reporting on critical impairments and other financial risks in the financial statements. You see that if you Google the case, you see the story there. This incident or incidents highlighted the essential role of auditors in ensuring the reliability of financial information provided to stakeholders. The lack of rigorous auditing contributed to the significant financial losses of stakeholders of African Bank, and it impacted public trust in the financial system. So this case underscores the need for audits and auditors to deliver high quality assurance, as their opinions or our opinions form the basis of users' confidence in the financial statements. So by adhering to or complying with ISA 200 principles, auditors ensure that financial reports provide a true and fair view, like we saw in the text, enabling stakeholders to make informed decisions. Another lesson, apart from this African Bank in Africa, is the lesson of Enron scandal. If you look at Enron scandal in the early 2000s, Enron's directors and auditors, the auditors were Arthur Andersen. The directors manipulated financial statements, ultimately leading to the collapse of Enron, and it culminated in investor losses. The fallout led to regulatory reforms like the Sarbanes-Oxley Act in the US, which strengthened or came about to strengthen audit processes and emphasized auditor independence to protect shareholders from misleading financial information. So these two examples demonstrate the critical role of auditing in bridging the gap between the company's directors, which are the stewardship, and the stakeholders or the owners of the business, and their reliance on accurate financial reporting as envisioned and stipulated in ISA 200. So this is very important. Okay, so let's look at audit-related services, and we close the curtain in this session. So audit-related services are engagements undertaken by an accountant or firm of accountants to perform such assignments as review of data, agreed upon procedures, and also compilations. So audit-related services are not audits directly, but then there are special reviews that a company or a party can engage a firm of chartered accountants to provide. There may not be audits directly, but they are audit-related services, which includes review of data, agreed upon procedures, and compilations. So review of data provides a low or moderate level of assurance that the information under review is free from material misstatement. So unlike audits where high, substantial, or reasonable assurance are provided, review of maybe a particular set of data in the company's information will need a moderate level or low level of assurance to one of the parties. So the accountant's opinion is usually expressed in the form of negative assurance, which is an opinion that there is nothing obviously wrong in the information. So when you talk of negative assurance, it doesn't mean negative in that light or that particular aspect. Negative means there's nothing wrong, but if you say positive, something must be wrong. So for example, in medicals, if you go for HIV test and they say you are HIV positive, you know there's problem. There's big problem. But if you say you are negative, okay, so that applies, that explanation graphically applies here. So under the review of data, if the accountant expresses an opinion and says it's negative, then nothing is wrong with the report. But if he says it's positive, then something obviously is wrong. So for example, the opinion could state that nothing has come to our attention to suggest that the information is materially misstatement. So that's a negative assurance or an opinion on the review of data. So the higher level of assurance provided by an audit enhances the credibility provided by the assurance process. However, an audit is more time-consuming and therefore more costly than a review. So a review is lesser in scope, while an audit is broader in scope. Now let's look at agreed upon procedures. Agreed upon procedures are adopted in an engagement where the party, the client hiring the accountant, specifies the procedures that should be followed by the accountant in performing the engagement. So agreed upon procedures could be maybe filing of tax or tax calculations, preparation of financial statements, and any other service the company or the party does not have expertise to prepare. So he could engage an audit firm to do that for him, but then he cannot engage the same audit firm, and the audit firm professionally will not even take up the job of preparation and reviewing. You cannot do the job of being the maker and the checker at the same time. So agreed upon procedures, the party engaging the other party may engage the accountant to provide services of making, but cannot review at the same time to avoid conflict of interest. So in performing the engagement, the procedures will be stated clearly to the firm of chartered accountants. And the final one is the compilations. With a compilation, the accountant is engaged to prepare information for the client rather than audit. So the checking of information will be by someone else. Like I stated, you cannot make and check. So compilations is the making. And an audit firm, what most of the big fours do is they have a department that makes and they have a department that checks to avoid conflict of interest. So if you engage one of the big fours, for example, to prepare your financial statements, the same team that prepares the financial statements cannot review and provide opinion on that same financial statement, even though it's the same firm, but they are different team of people doing that. And most of the time they recommend you using another firm and they will check. Why? Just to ensure independence, objectivity, and avoid conflict of interest. So in compilations, we see these examples graphically illustrated, and the audit is made, or the financial statements are prepared by a party, or the party engaged, another one will review the financial statement. So for example, a firm of chartered accountants may be asked by a client to prepare tax computation. So the firm of chartered accountants may be asked, like I've stated in the example, this graphically, the audit firm may be asked to prepare tax computation. So there's no assurance that is provided, just prepare the tax computation. And this is an example of a compilation. And this resonates graphically with the examples you've stated. So a case scenario, you could just paint a picture by saying that maybe a telecoms company were undergoing due diligence practice as part of a merger request with a foreign investor. Maybe in Nigeria, just pick a telecoms company, and the investor that wants to merge or purchase the company requires assurance about compliance with regulatory reporting, maybe tax filing, revenue sharing agreements. So the engagement could be asked, or the engagement could be given to an accounting firm to perform agreed upon procedures. So this firm conducts tests to confirm accuracy of revenue calculations, revenue declarations in their report, review compliance with the telecoms regulatory body, let's say the NCC, and the NCC's guidelines, and examine tax support documents and filings. So this specific procedure could include reconciliation of revenue reports with bank statements, verify adherence to revenue sharing policies, reviewing prior tax filings for accuracy and compliance. So the reports or the outcome will be that the accounting firm will issue a report detailing the procedures performed and their findings, which were used by the investor to assess financial risks. So the report, however, did not express an opinion or conclusion consistent with the agreed upon procedures or engagement. So this engagement highlights how agreed upon procedures provide targeted insight without a formal audit, making them cost effective and tailored to specific stakeholder needs. Okay, so if we look at a global example, in the US, there's a company called Green Tech Solutions. They requested an accounting firm to prepare financial statements of them, looking at compilation engagement to attract venture capital funding. So Green Tech Solution is a startup. They lacked the in-house expertise to produce professional formatted GAAP financial statements. So they engaged an accounting firm to prepare the startup financial statements based on the information provided by their management team. So this compilation agreement is not an audit or a review conducted, and no assurance is provided. It's just a preparation of financial statements. So the outcome of the report will be professionally compiled financial statements in line with GAAP, since the company is in the US. And this outcome demonstrates the utility of compilations in scenarios where assurance is not critical. So these two examples, looking at the telecom and the US-based Green Tech Solution startup, aligns with the definition and scope of reviews, agreed upon procedures and compilations as highlighted in the study text we just went through right now. And this resonates perfectly and helps us glean from what these engagements are all about. Okay, so that's the brief meaning of assurance or audit and audit-related services in brief. So before moving on to the next module on Friday, let's check with these few 5 questions. If you are able to explain the basic concepts of assurance, audits, and levels of assurance. Okay, so are you ready? Let's do the short quiz as we look at 5 of them. So just write the, take note of the answers in the options. So number 1, which of the following is not an audit engagement? A, an audit of financial statements. B, a review of financial statements. C, an agreed upon procedures engagement. D, a report on the company's compliance with its environmental policies. So what's the answer? So write it. If you can find the chat box, maybe you put your answers there, or put your answer there. Just say number 1, A or B or C or D. Or you can send it on WhatsApp. Anyone. Let's see if you understand what we've been talking about. Okay, so number 2. Or am I too fast?
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. So number 1, you've taken the answer. All right, so number 2, an audit may never offer absolute assurance. Of course. Which one of the following statements does not support this statement? Number 1, an audit or audit evidence is persuasive, not conclusive. B, an audit opinion is a matter of judgment. C, in a simple audit, it should be possible for the auditor to test all the transactions undertaken. D, there are inherent limitations in any accounting system and internal controls. So what's your pick? Okay, so let's go to number 3, if you're all right. What provides the highest level of assurance? A, limited assurance engagements. B, audit. C, review. D, compilation. What provides the highest level of assurance? Okay, if you are fine with number 3, we move to number 4. A statutory audit is what form of engagement? A, agreed upon procedure. B, compilation. C, limited assurance. D, reasonable assurance. A statutory audit is what form of engagement? Okay, so that's number 4. If you're okay with it, if you've picked, let's go to the last one. Which of the following combinations describe a review? Sorry, it's showing a review. This describes a review, not a view. A, reasonable assurance provided, positive opinion expressed. B, limited assurance provided, negative opinion expressed. C, no assurance provided, positive opinion expressed. D, no assurance provided, negative opinion expressed. What's your pick? Which of the following combinations describe a review? Not a review, it's a review. Okay, I'd like to get both of our feedbacks, and that will show that we are following the class. And
I put it in the chat.
You've put it in the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. What of what's RO? What's the acronym for RO? Sorry, what's your name so that I can call you? I won't say RO.
Rafiat Oni.
Oh, sorry, come again.
Rafiat Oni.
Okay, Rafiat. Okay, so let me just call you Rufi. Okay, so Rufi, what's your pick? Have you picked your 5 questions or your 5 answers? Okay, fantastic. I've seen Julie's answers. Good. So I'll give you the response later. So Rufi, when are you going to send your own response?
I will send it now to WhatsApp.
Okay, fantastic. That's good to hear. All right. So having looked at these two, or this chapter 1, which is quite short and is good, it's 9:25. So we'll close by 9:30. Is there any question? Because some of us are tired. We need to rest. Thank God it's not up to 10. And I hope you got something from what we discussed. So you have any questions, observation, contribution to what we just discussed? I've put back the slide on the screen. So if you have a particular challenge, so just state it now, or something you need clarity on. Especially most of the cases I've used to illustrate most of the study texts and what has happened. If you have any question, I'll just take them now in the next 4 minutes so that we'll shut down by 9:30. Julie is already tired. She needs to go and rest.
But how can we get your material?
Okay, so which one? Is it this slide or the
slide?
Oh, for sure. I'll just share it on the group. Actually, it's the same study text. There's no addition. It's just
Okay.
the study text, yes. Except if you
Okay,
want
it's all right.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe if you want a link to those cases I mentioned, I can share the link so that you just go through it online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want those ones, I can share the links. The stories are all on the internet.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, so any other question? On Friday, we'll be looking at the regulatory environment, chapter 2. The regulatory environment. So that's what we'll be looking at on Friday, 8 to 10. So don't miss it. We'll also I also recorded this. So we'll also put it for those that could not attend, at least to go back on it. Then we'll start our mock exams also. So the mock exams is going to take this form. We'll have, normally the main exam will have 7 questions. For the mock exam, I'll provide 6. So, and you answer all. There's no pick 5. You answer the whole 6. So you submit.
How many mock exams are we going to have?
Okay, so we'll submit the mock. Maybe we'll do 2 a month. What do you guys suggest? I was thinking we should be doing one every week, but then it may be strenuous. Do we do 2 per month or 1 per month? Which one would be? Yeah,
I think 2 per month is fine.
Okay. Rufi, what do you think? Is Rufi on the call?
Yes,
Oh,
I'm
okay,
here.
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic.
And is this on a Saturday? Is it on the weekend or is it going to be during the week?
We'll just submit the mock questions then at our convenience. So most of us have lectures Saturday. In fact, today I got a call from Kano Center that I'll be moving to Duse. So I'll be covering Kano and Duse for case study Saturday, Sunday. So I'll be in Kano, be in Duse. So we'll need to work it out in a way that it will be convenient for all of us. So we'll submit the questions, then we'll need to come back and review. So maybe in one of the classes within the week, we'll just arrange, okay, have you finished your mock exams? Or I submit. Then when can we meet for the debrief session? Let's discuss the solution before we share. So that should be flexible. Let me answer the question by saying it should be flexible. Maybe a weekend when we are free. And if we are not free in a weekend, we can use one of the Tuesday or Thursday or Friday classes to address the answers. I don't know if that is okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, so we'll just make it flexible for all of us. Yeah, go ahead, Rufi. Go ahead.
That's a very good idea.
Okay, fantastic. So let me come again. The mock exam is 6 questions, and you answer all because the aim is to equip you so that in case those questions come in another way or they are graphically repeated, you will not be like, and I didn't do this one during the mock or I chose. So there's no option for choosing in mock. On the exam day, you can choose, but the mock, you cannot choose. You do the 6 and submit, then I will give you the solution later. And the mock exams are still the same ICAN questions. So it's not me that came up with them. And they are the same ICAN Pathfinder. It's just that I'll pick them in a way you may not be able to find where it is when you are preparing. And that's the essence of the mock, just to test and simulate the real exam scenario. Okay, so it's 9:30. I hope, do we have any questions? We need to shut down. No questions. Do we have anything, any contribution?
Okay, sir.
All right. Okay. So in the absence of none, I wish you guys a lovely night rest. Please